Alright, hello everybody, welcome back, welcome back. Just doing a little bit of work here, Project Alpha. I'm trying to design a economy. It's hard, sorry, I'm just thinking it's kind of hard for me to explain this very second. So, I'll go over it, the concept, and then we'll see what I want to do. This is just kind of like a concept video, and then I'll put out a tutorial here in a couple of days. I'm still engineering this, and then when it's done, I will go over it in further detail. So, we'll take the basics first off. First off, if you watch the basket truck video, you'll know that when I tried to use the user interface, it gave me an error, and then I had to bind it to the vehicle in order to interact with it. Okay? When you're making a store and you want your store to function smoothly, you need to do the same thing. You need to tie the store to a remote event in the replicated storage. Then you're going to need a control script for the store. I just call it the economy script. And that's it. And then you have your interface, your window, which is your store here. And then it connects, it all runs through the server script. Okay? So, there are two ways to do this. You can create an asset in the game, and then you can go online and you can charge money for that asset. So you can have like a pass in your game, call it like the concrete truck pass, and then you can pay Robux for it, and then that gives you access to the concrete truck. So when you log into the game, you should have access to the vehicle. So I did that in my first game, Blue Trucking City, but I think the whole system was a little confusing and people didn't really understand because it was really confusing and it sucked. So I thought, okay, how can I redevelop that? So I've been thinking, this has been a long time developing this. And this is sort of the redevelopment of that. So what we're doing is we're creating game assets, and then what we're doing is we're giving those game assets like a value. So for example, the concrete truck can be valued like 999. Okay? So when the player joins the game, what we do is we create a folder on the player. And in that folder, we're going to have an integer value, and it's going to say concrete, right? So that value is going to be the value of the concrete truck. So when the player joins the game, the script is going to read that value, and it's going to say, okay, if the player has that value, then we'll let them spawn the vehicle in. But if they don't have that value, then when they run their mouse over it, it's going to tell them this is how much the vehicle costs. So what I need to do next, what I haven't quite finished yet, there's a lot of coding, right? It's a lot of thinking, because you have to think, first you have to design the transaction, and then you have to think, how can I track that transaction? And then every time you track it, you have to add more code and think, okay, then I want to do this and this and this. Every time you add to it, you need to develop the code. So it's not quite finished yet. But essentially, that's the basics. As you can see there, that's 5 tries. I've run through this thing 5 times. So I'm going to try and run through this one more time. And I already found out an error already. So I need to add another check to the buttons. Right now, the buttons check to make sure that if the value is this, it'll run through it. Otherwise, if that's not the value, it tells you to buy it. But here where it tells you to buy it, what I need to do is I need to check to make sure if the player, so I need to say local cache equals, say script dot parent dot, I think it's cache dot cache. Where did I put it in my leaderboard here? Leader stats dot cache. It's right here. Then we need to say if cache is greater than or equal to because that's how much the vehicle costs, 15,000, I think. Well, it costs less than that, but we'll say 15,000. Then it'll run through there. And now we do a check on that. So that's basically where I'm at now. I'm just kind of developing that. So it shouldn't actually let me run through there. So then what I can say is I can say else if you don't have it, then what's the image of the hover over image? Does it matter? Probably not. But anyhow, what we can do is we can go back to the mini map here, to the store, and up on the button itself, you have the image, then you have the hover over image, and you can change those, and that's basically what I've done here. Let's see, so if you have it already, and if you don't have enough cash, it should just end there. Yeah, anyway, so that's as you can see, there's still a little bit more thought but what I wanted to get at was, okay, so you log in. I won't press any buttons, but I'll just go over this. I don't want to mess it up. Oh yeah, the mini map's not in there. So it creates the folder, and then these are the values. Okay, so this is how we track our internal economy, our internal transactions. So then it says, okay, basket, right? Does it have that value? It does. Okay, so then when it checks in the leader stats, when the player joins the game, we could say, we can have another section down here, and we can call it clone to player, like this. And we can say if you know, we can say if where is it here? Truck by equals, what's the flatbed value is 913. Then you can say we want to say greater than or equal to, and I say that because sometimes you click the button twice and it will double add the value. So this is our minimum value, and then anything above that. Now it's its own value, so it's not going to read anything else, so it doesn't matter. But I just do that just in case. That's just a safety on the number, just in case. You never know, the game glitches and it doubles, then the code doesn't break, and then they don't feel like, man, I grinded in the game, I spent 15 grand and I got suckered. This way it's like a check on that, and it says, no, you didn't get suckered. It just you know what I mean, there was a hiccup in the code. Maybe I didn't add a weight somewhere, whatever. Okay, so then it'll say if by flatbed then, and then what you could say is you can say on in the server storage here, see we have player items donut, so you could say game dot server storage dot player items dot donut, and you could say clone dot parent equals player dot backpack. Okay, so something like that. So you'll get a donut. We could even say, right, that's the flatbed. So let's just try that. Where's replicated storage? So I mean, it takes there you go, and now it gives you these errors, and it says value of type nil can't be converted to a number. It's because there's no value yet. Okay, it's created these, but there's no value yet. The player hasn't clicked on these yet. So if we buy the flatbed, it'll say transaction cash, buy concrete, basket, flatbed. So something's wrong there on the economy script. And then now, but the value of flatbed, you see how it's 913. So then if we stop, okay, that's why I'm still engineering it, right? So we can't really. Then if we load into the game, we come back. See, it says flatbed loaded, and look, I have a donut. Okay, so that's just a way that you can give the player the ability to spend in-game money that they earn in the game to get cool things without needing to convert Robux. I know Roblox would like that, but it's just another way to draw players into your game. So I thought that would be a cool video, and then I'll be putting out because it saves as well. It tracks it. Every time you do that, it saves it. So I'll be going over all of that, and I know it's a little confusing, but thanks for watching. And there will be a tutorial coming. I won't hammer it out like I did the last one, but yeah, look out for that. Thank you so much.